everyone.
Hey,
We,
everybody.
we welcome Johnny, and we are from Artist House. My name is Dorota, and we have Michael Brewer with us. So, Johnny, if you could say a few words you wanted to say first.
Oh yeah, sure. I just wanted to do a shout out to my agent, my manager Joey Bacino, my agents Mark, Charlotte, and Steven, Carolina Talent. Happy birthday to Nikki, uh, Johnny Sex from Love and Vain, and Michael McCann from Raven Tree. Now we can start our interview.
Nice. You got to have a proper intro. There you go.
Got to, man.
Yes, so Johnny, it's so great to have you with us.
Thank you.
And let's actually introduce you to the people we have here. You have a lot of fans. And can you tell us a little bit who actually is Johnny Alonso and how would you describe yourself as a person?
Well, the Johnny Alonso, you guys know, he's a figment of your imagination. He doesn't exist. No, he's seriously a product of his environment. If I had to, let me start professionally. Johnny Alonso is a professional. My manager, Joey, always says that I am a professional, aggressive auditioner. That kind of gets me through the door. But if you wanted to know who I was as a person, like off screen, I'm really kind of introverted. Believe it or not, I'm quiet. I'm a daydreamer, and I'm an artist. I mean, that's just probably the easiest way for me to describe myself.
Okay, so we all know you are an actor and you are also a singer. Can you tell us how did you actually break into acting and entertainment?
If I had to get into specifics, it would take forever. I've been doing this for so long. Sure. TV Guide version. I used to be in a band, a real popular band, and we were signed. And we came out with 2 albums. We toured all over the place. Played amazing clubs like the classic, like CBGB's in New York City, Bun Ratty's in Boston, 930 Club, the original one in DC on F Street. We were kids. 16, 17, 18 years old. And, charting on college radio from Baltimore to Seattle. And, we're getting great reviews and New Music Express. It was great. But music was changing. The post-punk alternative was changing. And that's what we were great at. And we were an awesome opening band for some of these really big acts, which I found that in being in a local band, everybody wants to get their own following and start out that way. Well, that's great. But we found a key through the company, the record label that signed us. They said, if we can get you guys to be the best band that you are locally and open up for bigger acts, their crowd and their followers are going to start following you. And that's what happened. So, we weren't greedy. We were like, we'll take whatever we can get. So, like I said, dude, touring the country in a VW bus at 17, come on.
That's the
question
dream.
there. It's awesome. So, and just hearing our music on the radio was really something else, man. There was an old radio station in DC called 99.1 and in Baltimore, 89.7. And it was literally all alternative underground. But as much as you want to claim to be underground, it wasn't, because we were getting so much radio play, 10,000 watts of power left and right. And it was something. But like I said, time was changing. College was calling. And we had to decide on something. And the band dissolved. We're still very close. We're all brothers. 2 pairs of brothers, but we just call ourselves brothers. I was lost, man, after the band. I didn't know what to do. But I did know, getting to your question, what I wanted to do. I wanted to perform. Because there was this electricity, this intensity of just being on a live stage, working with people around you. And of course, I had this wall of sound behind me, but that power, being connected with 400 to 500 people at a time. So I got into NYU, and I decided to take acting because I realized there was a lot of acting on stage when you performed in a band. We're kind of like that shoegaze or post-punk kind of band, and that's all an act. So I started taking classes. I started taking theater, and I really enjoyed it. I wasn't fully accepted at NYU by my my fellow classmates, because they were real actors. They were thespians. These guys were lively art actors, and I was this musician. I had to gain their respect. It was not easy, man. Screw those people, but it was so much fun because I learned how to be a lone wolf in such a tough business. And then from there, I started taking classes for film and for television, on camera classes, and I learned how to audition. And that's what I said earlier. I'm aggressive, and I'm an aggressive gambler type of an auditioner, and that's what gets you the job. Oh, I do mine subtle. Yeah, you can do your subtle. Watch what I do, and I'll book the job. So that's there is a confidence that you get, actors, by taking classes, the right classes, circling yourselves around the right actors. So Dorota, that's it. From music, I went to college.
Uh-huh.
Fell in love with acting, and I'm here today with you guys on your show.
Okay, Johnny. So when we talk about acting and film, do you think the acting and film business is different now than it was 10 years ago?
Oh my God, yes, absolutely. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I was on a show called Dawson's Creek. My character showed up in the 6th season. I auditioned for Dawson's Creek since season 1. From season 1 to season 6, 29 auditions before I actually booked that show. And my point is, when you meet a casting director in person, you don't have to be the greatest actor in the room, but if you got the best personality, you will win the room. And that's how I kept getting called back. The Finn Cannons, I loved them to death. And the mighty Finn Cannons were so good to me in the beginning of my years. And I had to drive to Wilmington, North Carolina from Baltimore, 7.5 hours each way. I think I put more money in the meter. My audition was only this long. I put too much money in the meter. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So, it's self-tapes are great, but, everybody sits down for self-tapes, and it's, for me, it's boring. I'd rather drive and make a day trip and almost make a mini vacation going to Pittsburgh, flying up to San Diego, from San Diego to like San Fernando and audition, because it's more interactive, But yes, 10 years ago, it was so much more fun. Yeah, we spent a lot more money auditioning, but you meant it. If you went to the audition, you are determined to book. So, you become one of the usual suspects, and then the casting directors love you, and they continue to call on you. So, getting back to my example of Dawson's Creek, I'm glad I didn't book the 26, 27, 28 audition, because those characters sucked. But the last audition that I got was a combination between the audition beforehand and the one that I was reading for in Wilmington. And it was a cross between those two characters. So I became, I booked Jimmy Franco, a 6-episode recurring on Dawson's Creek.
Nice. I imagine that when you're in front of somebody face to face, you've got a great personality. We've talked a little bit, and that's got to come through a whole lot better in person than it does on tape.
Totally, man. Totally. Like I said, man, you don't have to be the best actor in the room. You can win the room with your personality.
Exactly. Johnny, as an actor, you probably had ups and downs. And can you tell us about the struggles you went through, because, every actor has some struggles, right? So if you can elaborate more.
Struggles. I'm still struggling. What are you talking about? Hasn't ended, Dorota. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like my old man always says, everybody's got problems, man. We're all at zero. It's everybody's the same. Of course, when you first start out as a non-union actor, the next goal is to become SAG. Next, goal is to become a union actor and get accepted by the top casting directors in your area. I got that. Once I got that, then the struggle is to get on a TV series, get a recurring. Well, I got that. Then you want to get in the film, the big screen, and start getting day players with some A-list actors. Well, I got that. those struggles, you know, for me, it wasn't really a struggle. You know what it was? It was just a job. You just have to continue. So, I mean, life struggles, sure. Everybody has, like I said, everybody has debt. Everybody's got car payments, mortgages. Yeah, sure. But you got to plan for that. You know, I've been blessed with some of the greatest representation that they tell me, hey man, look, I know we made a lot of money this week on this last job that you shot. Put that away. Taxes come around the turn of the year. You got to be careful. Got to be smart. You know, it's easy. I mean, when you have representation that negotiates your contract for 4 or 5 times the union rate, and you get it, yeah. I mean, it's Christmas time, but you know, there's always going to be a drought. There's always going to be lag time, and you know, yeah, Michael. I mean, we said it before we got on camera today that I'm a pretty busy guy. Yes, I am, but there are times when I'm not working, and you know, you got to float on your own, and that, Dorota, is probably the worst. Because I mean, if you guys can't tell, I'm hyperactive.
Exactly.
And I can't sit still, so you know, work generates work. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you hit on something huge there for a lot of people watching, I'm sure. You know, we have a lot of aspiring actors and entertainers that follow us, and you know, one of the big things is you know, once you take that first step and you're trying to make the next step, you know, how important is it to surround yourself with the right people? How important is it to have that mindset of, you know, keep yourself on that grind and keep irons in the fire and just, you know, keep doing what you're doing. It's cool to hear you say that, because I think that's advice a lot of people need to hear.
Of course, man. You know, it's only the truth. You know, circle yourselves around positive people, man. You get positive results. Yeah, I mean,
well,
talk to my exes, I'll tell you.
Well, speaking of some of those results, I have something I'd kind of like to play for people, and this is how a lot of us were introduced to you back in the day. If we could take just a minute and show a clip.
Sure.
All right.
Previously on One Tree Hill.
Take off the wedding ring.
What?
Let them think you're a couple.
But we're not a couple.
You a couple in real life?
You know, the music
never lies.
Somebody bashed him.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's great. We won't let you down. Take care. Great news. Gavin's manager is excited about you as a solo act. We should record a demo.
I'm sorry. Tonight's my last show.
No, Haley, no, you got to think about this.
I have thought about this. I'm going home to my husband.
What if you're making a mistake?
Well, the mistake was leaving him in the first place.
No, Haley.
I'm sorry.
Haley.
So that was a cool part, and it was a cool part for a lot of reasons. You got to be kind of a hard ass on that, right? I mean, that was,
yes, I was.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. Joey D, my favorite character. Let me backtrack. I mentioned something about Dawson's Creek earlier. But when Dawson's Creek was going off the air, we were told that a show called One Tree Hill was going to take its place. And same writers, same casting, same time, just a little bit different, you know, a little more edgy. Times are changing. And Mark Buchanan got in touch with, he's the casting director. He got in touch with my agent at the time and said, I think Johnny Alonso is perfect for this band manager type. He's got to be kind of like a New York ass, that kind of guy. And so she called me and she said, hey, man, they want you to read for One Tree. I said, yeah, but I was on Dawson's. They said, that's okay. They really think you're good for it. So I read. And I remember being in the casting office in Wilmington at the old Buchanan office and seeing some of these guys in the room. I'm like, these guys don't look like New York hard asses. These guys look like wimps. I was like, okay, look at this guy in a top hat. What's this guy doing? So I said, all right, I know what I'm doing. So I'm in the hot seat and I can hear the guy in the room doing his audition. I'm like, he's doing it all wrong. You guys want me. I walk in and I remember auditioning for Mark Buchanan and the director for my first episode. And I just, bam, I hit it. I acted just like Joey D. Yeah, just like him. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see the director like going, wow, that's exactly what I've been looking for. And that's what I'm saying, man. You could win the room. So Joey D on One Tree Hill was only supposed to be a 2-episode recurring. It turned into 5, and I was in seasons 2 and 3. And they flew me down to, I think, New Orleans for 1 episode. It was so much fun. The rest of it was shot in Wilmington and in the surrounding areas in North Carolina. But yeah, man, it was just the coolest. And just for notes, I am the only actor on the WB that went from Dawson's Creek to One Tree Hill. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
as a recurrent.
Mm-hmm.
Good one to have, man. And that was a cool character in that cast too, because people really remember that type of character as well. You know, when you're not sort of a background player, not to say that anybody's part is small, but when you bring your personality to that, I bet you've even heard about it in the years following.
I have. True story. I went to an OTH con, one of them, a while back in Wilmington, and I'm just walking around having a good time, seeing everybody, seeing some of my own castmates, seeing some of the producers, and these 3 girls came up to me. And I think, hey, this could be my dick, fantastic. No, they were mean. They were like, you were so mean to Haley. I can't believe the way you treated her. I'm like, girls, that's what the script called for. That wasn't me. That's character. That's Joey D. I'm Johnny Alonso. They just walked away. They could care less. But yeah, I mean, I kind of made that impression. I was the hard ass on the show, and it's great. You know, everybody likes playing the rough. Everybody likes playing the heavy. But you got to do it right. You know, my character had, you know, he had ulterior motives. He could care less about them. He was thinking about himself, but he did have a soft spot for them, and that's how you get bad characters. I mean, okay, angry or like dark characters to kind of like get through the screen for people to like them. They have to like your character one way or another, or really hate your character one way or another, but you got to be sensitive one way or another. And those are things that you learn, man, you know?
Well, that's a good segue into the next piece I wanted to talk about. I'm going to put up a picture of a specific place here in Washington, D.C. This is the Holocaust Museum. Yeah. And you know, this is, I mentioned to you before we got on camera, I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I remember when they built the Holocaust Museum. I've gone several times, and there's a voice in there that is strikingly familiar to me. Can you talk about Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel's story. I am the voice of Daniel at the Holocaust Museum. My voice will be in the archives for life. This was one of the first gigs I auditioned, voice gigs that I auditioned for early in my career. I just became AFTRA. We have SAG-AFTRA these days. The radio and television was a separate union back in the day. This was like in the 1800s. Man, it's been a long time ago. So when I booked this gig, before I booked the gig, my agent was like, listen, they're opening up a new museum. It's called the Holocaust Museum in the Smithsonian area. And we think you're the right voice for it. And I was like, well, you know, I've done a few radio spots. Yeah, sure. So they put my name in the till. We got the sides, and I read for it. And I booked the character. I booked Daniel. I mean, out of, I think, 350 submissions, they said that I got the job. And I went to National Geographic to record the voice that you hear today at the Holocaust Museum. And I remember going in. I mean, I was like this leather jacket, Sex Pistols kind of shirt. Hey, I'm your talent. I remember one guy saying, oh my God, are you kidding me? This can't be the guy. This can't be the same voice. But when I went in the booth, I just read it the same way, the way you'd hear it in the museum. And they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And the guy was like, you have such a voice. It's animated. But there were somber notes. I remember him saying this to me. And he goes, you're going to be in the archives for life at this museum. And it didn't really affect me back then. I could care less, actually. I just wanted to get the job and get my check and then leave. And then when they opened up the museum, they invited me to the grand opening. And the president was there. I'm like, oh, President of the United States is here. This is insane. So for years go by. I'm in Los Angeles. I haven't been back to the museum. And I decided to visit my family during COVID here on the East Coast, you know. And when I got in touch with one of the curators on Instagram, I was like, hey, man, I'm the voice of Daniel. I was wondering if I could drop by. I haven't been there since you guys opened. He's like, dude, we've been listening to your voice for years. We'd love to meet you. And again, when I show up, they're all like in these suits and they got these medals of award and everything. And here I am in a rock and roll t-shirt and I should start dressing up for these things more often. But it's such an honor. It is the most treasured credit that I have in my long history of work.
Well, I can tell you it's impactful. And I mean, I've got a lot of family members that have been through there. And we always kind of had this family saying, if you're going to go, don't make any plans for the rest of the day. Because it's heavy, it's a big thing. And the fact that your voice has guided probably millions of people by this point through that exhibit is that's a huge credit, man. I mean, that's a big deal.
Thank you, man. Yeah, they told me. Dorota, they told me I was there in the spring.
Yeah.
And sorry. 14.2 million visitors have been through the story alone. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
that's pretty incredible.
Thanks, man.
Oh, well, I wanted to move to a little bit of a lighter note on this. You've got a couple of credits on the Travel Channel, right? I tend to watch it on Discovery Plus, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about The Haunting. The 2 episodes that we've seen you on are, as I understand it, the most watched and the most commented on episodes of that whole series, right? Any season?
Yes. My first guest starring episode is called Hidden Terror, and it has been re-aired. All throughout the year, but in particular every October.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty much almost every other day.
Just in time for spooky season.
That was such a great episode. It was extremely it was well written, small cast, and my episode took place, part of it at least, in the house that's always seen on a haunt, like the staircase and stuff. And it was just done so well. The character was it was written for me. It was just a perfect role. And Hidden Terror is hot. And then, of course, being a guest star from season 3, I can't do another episode, back to back. Because each show is a different idea.
Yeah.
So years went by, seasons go by, and I heard that A Haunting was coming back for season 10 or 11, whichever this one is now. And I told my agent, dude, you got to get me in. I told Mark. I said, Mark, you got to get me. And he's like, yeah, but you were on in season 3. That's like one of the most re-aired. I said, I don't care, man. Just talk to him. You're my agent. That's what you're supposed to do.
Nice.
So, so he was like, oh, no problem, man. So he got in touch and he said, oh, yeah, they know who you are. And I thought he was going to say right there, there's no way. And he goes, they love you. They've seen the ratings with you, and they would love for you to read for this character. And I said, great. So I read for Nevermore. That's in season 11, episode 7. And it's got even a slower cast, and the episode's a lot darker. So
I think we have a clip. Is it okay if I run that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Here, that'll be a treat for everybody. Hang on just a second. Let's check this out.
You're the man.
Salud.
Salud.
Divorcees find a second chance at love.
I was very excited about the next step, having our life start together.
But someone doesn't want them to have their fairy tale ending.
Chris, someone in the house.
Someone will hex on you.
He wanted to be in Christine's place.
And sends dark spirits to break them apart. In this world, there is real evil.
Someone's in my room.
It lurks in the darkest shadows. Between what we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. Once known as...
All right, that is a cool show. I don't know how many people have gotten to check it out, but anybody who hasn't has got to tune in and check that show out. That looks like a truly spooky episode too.
It's awesome, and I got to use my Spanish, so
yeah, nice.
couple scenes, man. I was like wicked. It was
hate to learn it and not use it.
Yeah, right. it was fun, and I like Dorota. You and I spoke about this once. I like working on more like psychological and dark stuff. So this was in my wheelhouse. Yeah, this was in my wheelhouse.
So we talked a little bit about you being one of the busiest people we know, and I think this next subject that I'm going to talk to you about, you did a picture called Harvey, and to say that you did a picture called Harvey is an understatement, because you co-directed, you co-starred, you co-produced, and were you the music supervisor for this one as well?
Yes, I was.
All during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, yeah.
So I've got a few questions about that all by itself. Like, can you talk? We'll get to the movie because there's a lot to talk about on the movie, especially the soundtrack, because all of us '80s babies are going to love that. But before we even get to that, like, how did you pull that off during COVID? Like, this is an ambitious thing. There had to be some difficulties with that.
Oh God, yeah, I have no idea, man. No, I was approached by Renelle Gold. Fantastic writer. And her son Sean wrote this project, this script, Harvey. I worked on a project with Renelle right before Harvey called Legacy of Love, and pandemic hit, and we're just trying to stay busy. Actors need to stay busy one way or another. If you're not working, you got to stay creative. So Renelle and I were just trying to put this project together, thinking, how are we going to do this? COVID's hit, and it's going to be tough. I was like, yeah, I know. Well, there's a will, there's a way. So, we got our investors, and we're like, we have to use this money, because if we don't, they're going to put it somewhere else. So Renelle and I got in touch with the union. Renelle started making phone calls left and right. I'm making phone calls left. We're casting at the same time. She's getting locations in Florida while I'm in San Diego. And we're like, please, 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 this can all work out if the union says yes. And guess what? They did. They finally called us back. And they said, look, if you're going to work with us, you need to be COVID compliant. This was just at the turn of COVID. So, we're one of the few. And, they haven't really tested it out yet with a lot of independent films. We turned out to be the eighth film. We were one of 8 independent films to shoot an indie movie under SAG rule during COVID. And let me tell you, man, it wasn't easy, because we had very limited hours. We had to get tested pretty much every other day. We had to have a SAG nurse. We were also delayed with our times at the bowling alley, which most of the movie took place. And God bless Renelle for finding such a great location. And the owner, Kurt, was phenomenal. I mean, yeah, we had to go in at 4 a.m. and we had to stop by noon, but it didn't matter, man. We got it done. And there weren't any other projects really happening at the time. We were cleared. We were cleared to shoot in Florida. So that got us distribution, because we were a new movie. They were looking for content. Distribution companies weren't looking for a 3-year-old stamp on a film. They were looking for something that's only 90 days. Come on,
Yeah, I can imagine that. There was a kind of a dearth of creativity then, and I know, everybody we all know in the industry is, they were all hurting at that point. Everybody's locked in their houses. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's working. So to see that you took on that much of a project, I mean, you must have had a fantastic team. And we talked about being able to not just put the pieces together, but produce it and really get it out there. That says a lot. I personally want to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the music, because I am an '80s baby for sure, and you put together a soundtrack for this that sort of caters to my my taste.
Let me tell you, bro. When Renelle came up with the vision, with the script, I was like, it's missing something. Make this as a standard psychological thriller, because for me, at least, as an actor, it was missing something. I'm very visual. When it comes to my creativity, if I'm not acting, I'm shooting stuff, I'm filming, I'm photography. I'm a 60 millimeter kind of movie buff, like shooting stuff. So
yeah.
That said, I came up with the idea. I said, Renelle, what do you think if we made this kind of 80s vibe, but modern day? and it's 80s vibe because they're in a small town. They're set back, you know, they're backdated. She goes, oh, I like that idea. I'm like, yeah. So it's an 80s vibe, modern day psychological, which is kind of cool. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So what really, really helped was a soundtrack. And I'm very good friends with a lot of bands, and especially a lot of bands that sound like 80s bands that are modern day, like, you know, guys from Damone out of Boston, you know, and Lenora post-punk out of Mexico, and Dark from West Germany. And you see how I mentioned those places? They're all over the world, right?
Yeah.
I have those bands, and I signed them. Well, we signed them on, and they have been promoting Harvey to their friends, fans, and followers in East Germany, in Boston, and in Mexico. And it has helped. And the other bands that I have on the soundtrack, like Love in Vain, Vivid Vertigo, Raven Tree, you know, all those cats are like Maryland, Baltimore, Virginia based. And they've got that hard edge. And Renelle's daughter, she's got a couple songs on there, I think. She does. And my old band, which was very 80s sounding, is on the soundtrack. So it was fun. That was, I mean, for me, that was probably the most fun part of putting this film together, because
that's awesome.
It was like an old homecoming, coming back to it, you know.
Great.
I was going to say, it's kind of where we started the interview today. It was, you know, it's sort of what got you here, and there that is. It had a series of pretty successful screenings, yeah. Oh
yeah, man, yeah. Renelle and I decided to do the first screening in Hollywood. We did it in North Hollywood at the Laemmle, and that was a fun screening. I mean, I get everybody from Florida that were locals. They all flew out to Los Angeles, and you know, everybody from like the DC, Baltimore area, everybody just all came out. And what a party that was. And we had the after party at the Federal. But then, of course, my roots being back in the Mid-Atlantic, I decided to do a screening at the Senator Theater in Baltimore. And yeah, dude, we almost drew in. The place only holds like 660 people. We drew almost 500 and some people. So we were almost at max capacity. And we filled that theater up. We were the most that entire year, right before I think Spider-Man came out or something.
Nice. It took the Marvel machine to unseat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they got the other 105 people that I couldn't get. But let me tell you, man, it was so awesome. It was so electric. We had so much publicity, and some of the key players came up. You know, I wish more did, but it was just so awesome. And then we finished off our premiere screenings in Oviedo, Florida, back where Renelle and her family's from. Man. So, yeah, dude, it was sick. I mean, what a great time. And I'm still tired from all those premieres.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, you ended up with a pretty special guest at one of those, yeah? Can you tell me about Michael McLaren and what happened out of his visit?
Yeah, man, Michael McLaren. If you're watching, well, you better be watching, Michael, because I'm dropping your name right now. Michael McLaren, fellow filmmaker out of Florida, I think out of the Mount Dora area. But anyway, he went to the screening. He went to our screening, our Harvey screening in Oviedo, and he didn't know who I was. He just came to see the film, and he's watching the movie, and all of a sudden I show up in the film, and he's watching it, and he told me this at the after party. He was like, dude, I have to tell you, man, I was really impressed with your acting. I'm like, oh, thanks a lot. And I didn't know who he was. And he just said, I want to put you in my film. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he was like, no, I really do. I'm trying to put together a movie, which I think you are just perfect for. I said, send me your script. So he sent me the script, and I kind of brushed it off for, you know, a few days because it was just like, whatever, I'm traveling. And I picked it up, and I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put down Sebastian. Sebastian is a cool, dark, psychological thriller. And they've already shot the flashback scenes that take place in 1940 something. I can't give away too much. All I can say is that there's that poster. Takes place around an orphanage and some creepy ass kid, man. That's all I got to tell you.
Man,
and it's,
we saw the poster. We saw the poster for this, and I'm like, that house says it all.
It sure does, man. And he got me. He and Wendy You know, we had a meeting. They flew to New York, or they were coming down from New York to Washington D.C. And I just so happened to be on the East Coast, and we met. And I'm locked in to play one of the one of the leads in Sebastian. And we're looking to shoot this in November. So I'm looking forward to working with Michael McLaren and his people. We'll be shooting this in South Florida.
That's outstanding, man. That's going to be a great backdrop for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few other projects. I don't want to eat up all our time because I know we've got something special for everybody toward the end here. But I do want to ask you about a couple things. I'm going to flash these up there, and we'll get to some of these. Before I throw these on the screen, though, we're getting into fall season. You mentioned before, you know, kind of spooky season. You've got stuff happening in October, and there's a couple of things that go on every year. I know that you do some charity work, and you're active with St. Jude, and that's coming up pretty quick. Yeah, that's
yeah, man.
Can you talk a little about
that? You're good, man. Jeez. Yes. Halloween Hotness in Hollywood. It's
October
going to be
29th.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. It's a great event. It's to benefit St. Jude, and yes, I've been one for St. Jude since I can remember, and it's for a great cause. And I went last year. With one of my producing partners, Shannon C. Lanier, and Kevin Wynn, who I think you're watching, by the way.
He is here, yeah.
My man, Paisan. How are you, Paisan? So we all went, and we had a Dark Ronin booth, and I couldn't get over, man, how many celebrities were at this thing. Like Mike Ferguson, just to name one, just a drop. But it was packed, and it was right next to Man's Chinese Theater, and right in the heart of Hollywood. And I'm hanging out, I'm having a good time, and you know, just I wanted to come back. And then this year, Brian, the I guess the coordinator, got in touch and said, "Listen, we'd love to have you in, man. We know your work, and we'd love to have you in as a special guest." So I just got my badge. It says special guest Johnny Alonso. I'm so excited.
Outstanding.
Yeah, dude. And again, it's to benefit St. Jude, and Getty Images, and all these cats are going to be there, and lots of film producers, lots of directors. So I look forward to being on the guest panel. You know, it's
a good crowd of people and a great cause. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about kind of what's coming up for you. I've got a few things here that I may or may not have pillaged from the archive here.
Dude, you should be my PR, man. You're really good at this.
I personally love that picture of you guys, but
true story. The shirt that I'm wearing was my old man's. My father, he bought that when we were living in New York. My father is a plastic surgeon, so he was a resident in Flatbush. And this is from 1976. He bought it at Barney's in Manhattan, he told me. And he couldn't get rid of it. And I was like, good, because it's perfect for this shoot that I'm doing. So this project is called The Chop Shop. I can't say too much because I'm under NDA, but I can say that it's like this mob flavored dramedy. And it is just a great story. My paisan in the picture next to me, that's actor Herb Becker. And he's the lead. He plays Clint, and I play Gio. And it's a cross between Goodfellas meets Shampoo. I can't really explain it.
Nice.
It's out there. But we have a great ensemble, and we are looking to shoot this, part of it in Maryland, the other half, the majority of it, in Atlantic City, because it needs that backdrop.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, we'll be doing a casting. Actors, it'll be on Actors Access, and I'll put a couple of blurbs on my social media. But we have a casting director in Los Angeles that's prepared to do this for us. Looking for all types, and we will be looking for soundtrack music as well. So sweet. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
All right, that brings us to the next one. You ready?
Yeah. What's that?
Here we go.
Joey, when you're watching, this is my new PR guy. He's fantastic. he and Dorota, I'm
He
hiring
can
them.
find you everywhere, Johnny.
I know you guys are great. I'm firing the other guy. He's out. All right. So anyway, Uso Suki. Yes, that. I mentioned Shannon C. Lanier earlier. He's one of my producing partners from Dark Ronin Films, and Shannon and I, we have been shooting a lot of shorts. These dark shorts, these dark films, and some of them with some incredible twists. And we have a plan for all of these chapters. But Uso Suki is a really, really twisted, dark psychological thriller that we shot, I think, back in February or March. And it's been doing super well. I can't really say too much, but I can say that the wheels are turning. We've been submitting to a lot of the film festivals, the short festivals in Hollywood. And looks like we may be in a couple of those festivals while we are shooting after the Halloween hotness. We're shooting another piece out there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tease this a little bit? Can you tease us a little bit by telling people what Uso Suki means?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, things that you may believe aren't really what is happening. Almost like Liar. It's insane. It's very dark, and I love the character because, well, I can't give it away. I can say this. I'll make sure Shannon puts it up, either on Vimeo or on Facebook soon, because like I said, we've been accepted on at these film festivals. I do know that we will be screening in Manhattan in Times Square in November.
Outstanding.
Shock Fest or something. So
I'll have to get out there for that. That's going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah, bro. We'd love to have
you. We're both going.
Yes. Dorota, you have to go.
Of course, we are first there.
Right next to me.
All right, I got
Save
one more.
the space.
I got one more before I kick it back to Dorota for your special treat for everybody else. This one's fun. So talk to us about Where Did You Go?
Where Did You Go? No, that's Paula Black, phenomenal actress. This was made again through Dark Ronin Films, through Shannon C. Lanier and myself. We produced it. Lisa, my God, so many people on our. Well, it was a very small bit, but anyway, this was made for the 48-hour Film Fest, I think, in Virginia, Washington D.C. And Shannon's like, "Listen, man, I'm putting my hands in the till on this. Can you help me produce it?" I said, "Sure." So, what a nightmare that was. I'm like, "Shannon, never again, dude. I'm not doing this for you anymore." No, we had a blast to come up with such a great piece. It's on my Facebook, I believe. I think it's on my YouTube as well. But again, to cast, to write a script, to find locations, to get your actors, to post edit, to edit and get it in on time in 48 hours, nightmare. But dude, so much fun, especially with this kind of film. And this obviously wasn't a dark psychological. This was more of a drama. The acting is fantastic. I loved working with Paula. Life is just so much easier on set when you have great actors, that take direction and that work off of you. And Paula kept saying to me, "Oh, I love working with you because you give me so much." Well, I'm giving that much because I know what I need from you. So, we worked really well together on this. And I can't, if you haven't seen it, guys, or anybody watching, please look up Where Did You Go? I'm excited. It's a good film.
And I really want to encourage everybody. I mean, I know this seems kind of obvious, but go find Johnny everywhere. Follow him on Facebook. Get it on the YouTube channel. There's so much good content out there, and you are such an engaging guy. I think everybody needs to be a fan. Everybody needs to click on subscribe.
That means a lot.
Exactly.
No, man, I'm getting to know you in the past couple of weeks, even just getting ready for all of this stuff. It's been enlightening, man. You are a wildly productive guy, man. You're getting so much done. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, my agent says I run off of glue and tar. She's like, "I can't figure you out. I don't know where you get your energy from." I'm like, "Neither do I, dude. Neither do I."
Well, I know Dorota had something special planned, and so I'm going to kick back to her. But thank you for going through all of the material so far. And Dorota, over to you.
Johnny, so I want to talk about music more.
Sure.
Actually, do you ever plan to release your own music in the near future?
I get that all the time. I had, like I said, my old band, and I love that music, and I'm going to keep my old music in these new films that I'm producing, one way or another. It just gives it just immortalizes the unknown, my old band. So, but as for new music, yeah, Dorota, I'm writing all the time. I write music all the time, and those acoustic videos that you see, those covers. You might see 1 or 2, 3 a month, but I shoot like 10 or 11, and I don't even post the other videos. I mean, the other songs, and I probably have a vault of about 70 or 80 covers that I've put out. I'm just a hyper spec. I will start maybe recording my music, but I really have no plans. I mean, music for me is a personal thing. You can either watch my acoustic videos or not. I do it for me. I play music for me. That's my thing. I just know that people like it, so that's why I post it. But I write music for me and I play music for me.
Well, we're glad that you do, and I'm seeing that we're having a little bit of audio issue on Dorota's end. So I think I'd love to be able to introduce this. Is there any way we can convince you to play something for us here?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we caught you in the room. You got.
Yes,
I can see it all back there.
Yeah. Let me get my guitar. Hang on a second.
All righty.
All right.
Okay, so I was out for a while.
Yeah, we lost it.
The technical problems, yeah.
I covered for you, Dorota. We've convinced Johnny to sing to us.
Oh, wonderful. So this is what actually I wanted to ask Johnny, because everybody is waiting for Johnny to sing. We often see the videos of you. And what kind of song are you going to sing for us, Johnny?
Well, this is a cover. A friend of it looks like he might be able to get the rights to put in there for at least 17 or 18 seconds. So I'm going to do "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" by Elton John.
Wonderful.
Hear me? No.
Gotcha.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Because I kind of lost you, but I get what you're doing. You got it. When are you gonna come down? When are you going to land? Should have stayed on the farm. Should have listened to my old band. You can't hold me forever. I didn't sign up for you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing the blues. Goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dogs of society now can't plant me in your penthouse. Going back to my plow, back to the house pulled out in the woods, under the horny barn. Oh, I finally decided my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. What do you think you'll do then? I bet they shoot down your plane. It'll take you a couple of vodka and tonics, set you on your again. Maybe you'll get a replacement. There's plenty like me to be found. Mongrels who ain't got a penny, skipping for tickets like you on the ground. Goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dogs of society howl. Can't plant me in your penthouse. Going back to my plow, back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny back toe. Oh, I finally decided my future lies beyond the yellow brick road.
Dude, outstanding.
That's
Outstanding.
awesome.
Thank you for that.
Did you like that?
I loved it. And yeah, I know, we didn't have the ability to get you set up on like studio quality audio, but man, that was outstanding. And I love having you do that for us. Thank you so much.
Yes, fantastic.
Dorota, you've always been one of my favorites online. You're always posting stuff about me. Thank you. No, I'm happy to do it.
You're welcome, Johnny. You are actually, great, sincere actor, very positive. So we are very happy actually that you could be here with us today. And if you have anything, like you wanted to say to anyone, you are welcome.
Sure. As an actor, I have learned that anytime an actor has a chance to perform, do it. It's half the reason why I do all this music. Like I said, I do it for myself. When I shoot with my GoPro and I play, I kind of know what camera angles are before I get on set. So I kind of know what I look like. So it's, so I'm not worried about, so many actors are worried about that, but that's one thing that I can get rid of. So now I can just really act. So anytime you can perform in front of the camera, to get comfortable with the camera and know your television timing versus your film timing, because at auditions, if you are dragging it too long for a television audition, you're never going to be considered. At least from my, from my past, film, we have a little bit more leeway. With time, you can play with time, but remember television, if it's an hour program, your scene's only 3 pages. It should only really be 3 minutes. It should, or less. You can't do a 5-minute audition on a 3-minute, 3-page script. So, but these are technical things. But staying positive, man. There are too many people out there that are perpetually pissed off. So, I'm just, if you're one of those guys that becomes the brightest light in the room, you will attract positive energy and without sounding all weird, man, just it's an artist way, we like to be dark because we're artists, and that's great. I mean, I have a very dark side too, but staying positive, especially on social media, is a big deal. You don't want to taint your image, so I mean, that's pretty much it.
You said something early on when Dorota asked you to kind of talk about who you are. You described yourself as an artist and a dreamer, and I think that you showed us just today a lot of sides of yourself and a lot of sides of your career. But I think taking the time to give people the advice that you just did, like, especially some of our audience are aspiring entertainers, and I mean you're throwing out gold nuggets here, man. That's really awesome of you. So,
dude, I appreciate you saying that. Like I said, man, you give to get, and I'm not worried about getting. I don't have a problem giving my information. I always tell my actor friends and just my friends in general that I'm giving you some advice. Try it once, at least try it, because if not, I'm wasting my time. No. Just try it, because that's life. And as an actor, an actor needs to be a sponge. An actor needs to try everything, and an actor needs to know that there isn't one way to succeed. You can't copy someone's career. It doesn't work. You got to find your own. I'm a veteran. I've been doing this for a long time. And then people are like, oh, I wish I got what you got. Well, you can. You just got to work hard at it, just like myself, you know?
There you go. It's like I've got a good friend that always said, take my advice. I'm not using it.
I'm going to quote you on that. I like that.
Yeah, I stole it. You can steal it too.
Why not? Why not, man? I'll plagiarize left and right, bro.
Well, hey, man, thank you very much. I think we're going to wrap up pretty soon and give you guys back the rest of your evening. But this has been an absolute blast, man. I really appreciate you taking the time, not just on camera with us, but in the week of prep and kind of talking back and forth. And yeah, man, really had a great time with it, and thank you greatly.
Me too.
Thank
man.
you, Johnny.
My pleasure, Dorota and Michael. You guys are fantastic. You're a solid group, and Artist House, man, it's fantastic. Thank you.
Let's do it again soon.
We will. Take care, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care, Johnny. Have a nice day. And
You
everyone,
too.
thank you
All
for
right.
watching.